All right, guys, we are live here on Living in San Diego channel with Bern and Courtney, but unfortunately, Courtney will not be joining us tonight, but I will be joined shortly by a regular guest on the show, Mr. Dan Parker. So thank you guys all for joining me. I actually forgot to invite Dan, so let me just do that while we are chatting here. Dan was running late in a meeting, so he should be joining with us shortly. Okay, so we're going to talk about a few things on the show today here, mostly things that we talk about regularly, things going on in San Diego, the San Diego housing market, as we always do here. That's always a favorite topic of conversation here on the show, and just things going on in San Diego, like we have some events coming up here in the summertime. We also have a big announcement for the Alta 56 home team, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We'll probably talk about 30, 45 minutes or so. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. I'd be happy to answer them for you. And yeah, that's about it. So let's get started on the show here. Let me just get everything going, organized here. I'm doing this by myself today, so it's a little bit more maneuvering here. So we're gonna get right into it, and let me know where you guys are watching from. If everybody's watching, you're watching from locally here in San Diego or throughout the country or throughout the world. We always like to know where people are tuning in from. And if there's ever a video you guys would like to see on the show here, please also put that in the chat, as we're always looking for new ideas to put out there that you guys want to watch and see, whether it's a neighborhood tour we haven't done yet, or hotel reviews. I like doing hotel reviews or food reviews, or just house reviews in general. So let us know what you guys like to see more of, and we will do our best to make that happen for you all. Okay, feel free to put your questions in the chat. And now we will dive a little bit into some of the articles that I got here, if I can figure out how to do this. Share windows. Okay. Okay, things going on in San Diego, if you guys may or may not know, is if you guys are fans of the horse racing season here in San Diego. We have 2 seasons now in San Diego. The second one starts this weekend, and this is usually the more popular one, middle of the summertime here. This starts this weekend. It does say it's sold out, but then it does say down here that tickets are still available for opening weekend, July 22nd and 23rd. So they are sold out, yet they have tickets still remaining. So I actually haven't been in a couple of years, so I might check out the horse races one day this year. If anybody else has checked it out or are big horse racing fans, let me know and let me know how it is. Another big event, this is actually, I can't believe this actually happens in the same time here, is ComicCon begins this weekend in San Diego. So believe it or not, I've been in San Diego for 8 years now, and I have not been to ComicCon yet, mainly because it's very hard to get tickets. But this year, I'm hoping I can bring my kids down there. My brother-in-law actually gets tickets for ComicCon, so we're actually going to check it out this year. Who's a big ComicCon fan out there? Let me know. As we'd love to see what your favorite thing is about ComicCon. This year's probably gonna be a little bit different than it has been in the past, as the writer's strike and the actor's strike is going on right now. So I think a lot of the big actors are not going to be there this year. So I'm curious to see how that turns out. I heard maybe it's gonna be back to where it was, 10, 15 years ago, when it wasn't a huge Hollywood thing, and it was more of like a locally owned, like actual Comic-Con convention. Now it's just a big Hollywood convention. So maybe this year will be more fun for people visiting, especially locals here in San Diego that always have a hard time getting tickets to Comic-Con. So that should be interesting. I'm looking forward to checking that out. I'm actually going to go tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know how that is. I'll take some photos, maybe I'll make a little video about it as well. So see how that goes. Another article I found recently, because someone actually commented on the channel, like, can we do a video on the best ocean view restaurants we have here in San Diego? And I realized I have not been to a lot of the ocean view restaurants here in San Diego. So this was an article in the San Diego Tribune recently that told us the 9 rooftop bars with some of the best ocean views in San Diego County. So for any of these you guys are watching that have seen or been to these restaurants, please let me know. I've been to a few of them. I have not been to Bird's Eye, where is that? A lot of these are in La Jolla, so if you guys are frequenters of La Jolla, you've probably been to some of these. Cannonball, which is in Mission Bay, I've been to that one. The views are very good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite restaurant in the world, but if you're just going for straight views, it's a good place to check out. We did actually stop there on our Mission Bay video that we did not too long ago. Coco Cabana That one is in Oceanside. Haven't been to that one yet. That one actually looks pretty cool. I should check that out. It's for Caribbean meets Southern California vibe with coconut drinks, plant life hanging on the deck, and pink decor accents. I think I need to do another Oceanside video. Let's see. Duke's La Jolla. I've been to that one. That's also in La Jolla. El Prez in Pacific Beach. I'm not sure if I've been to this one, although I think I would remember that view, so I probably have not been to that one. Mexican-inspired libations and cuisine is El Prez in Pacific Beach. So if you guys have been to any of these ones, please let me know, as I would. And let me know which one is your favorite on this one as well, because I'm probably going to do a top. I'm probably not going to do top 9 because that's a lot of restaurants to visit, but maybe the top 3 or 5 video tour of it. And I'll try to do that hopefully this summer when the weather is quite good. George's the Cove in La Jolla, but also been to that one. Mr. A's just reopened this past year. I have not been to the new one since it's been reopened, but I've been to the old one. So, and let's see, this is the rooftop bar at the Mission Pacific Hotel, which we stopped at this in our Oceanside video. Oh wait, hold on, Mission Pacific. Am I thinking of a different hotel? No, that's in Oceanside. It says San Diego, but it was in Oceanside. So let me know if you guys have been to any of those restaurants, as I think those are anything with ocean view. It doesn't even have to be amazing food. If it has really good views, I think that's a really good start, though. So let's see what we got here. Watching from La Jolla. Here, let me actually hang on one second. I got Mr. Dan Parker joining us as he is coming to the show. Hello, Dan Parker.
Oh, what's going on, Mr. Byrne McGovern?
What's going on? Thanks for joining us. Casually late as usual. I'm kidding. This is the first time Dan's ever been late to a live, so I appreciate you coming on, my friend.
It's a classic realtor move, is what it is.
just be 5 minutes late. So we're really good at being 5 minutes late.
Traffic is not great in San Diego. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Okay, so Dan, just so you missed a couple things, we talked about ComicCon coming into San Diego. Actually starts tonight. I think is actually when ComicCon starts.
Okay.
Which I'm actually going to go down to there tomorrow to check it out. My brother-in-law actually put up. I don't know if you've seen this. Here, I'll put this back up real quick so you can see.
Put up some advertisements, I'm guessing.
He did. That's what he does. He does outdoor advertising, and apparently it's illegal. So don't tell him what his name is. Heck, where's my thing? Hold on a second. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. That's why. Share screen window. So he did just put this one. Took them like 4 days to put this one up, but he just finished it. Yellow Jackets on the Hard Rock Hotel. So that is pretty cool. I wanted to go down and check that out. And have you actually ever been to ComicCon, Dan? I'm curious to
I have not, man. It comes and goes every year, and I just kind of always forget about it.
I've never been to it, and it is hard to like get tickets, but it would be cool to just like walk around it probably, which I'm going to do tomorrow. So maybe I'll try to make a little video about it as well. So
you bring the kiddos?
They want. My son wants to go. My daughter could probably care less, but my son wants to check it out. So awesome. I might check that out tomorrow. So that was cool. And then we already talked about this. Then 9 rooftop restaurants in San Diego. Have you been to any of these, Dan? We'll go through these quickly because I kind of already went through them.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've been to like 4 of them, I think. So Bird's Eye, which is in La Jolla. Have not been there.
Okay. I've not been there.
Cannonball Mission Beach.
Of course. Yeah.
I've been to that one a couple times. Copacabana. I've not been to this one.
Yes.
Oceanside.
Very cool view.
Is it cool? How's the food? Food pretty good too?
I just love saying Coco Cabana. I don't know. We were on more of a bar crawl the day. It was actually Steph's birthday. We took the train up to Oceanside, and that was
good idea.
We went to. It was great. Great view.
I feel like you take advantage of the train more than I do. Is that true?
I did when we were in Encinitas for sure, because we were like a half a mile away from the train station, so we could walk there, take the train wherever we want. The train's awesome.
I thought in Encinitas they closed that train station. Is that still active?
Yeah, the Encinitas has 2. Encinitas only has 1 train station. But
okay,
yeah,
for some reason I thought I heard that had closed, but maybe I was mistaken about that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Duke's La Jolla. I've been there.
Yep. Classic.
Yeah. Classic. El Prez. Not been to this one in Pacific Beach. Have you been to this?
No, I don't think so.
It looks like a very nice view, but I think I'm going to do a video on like top 3 or 5 rooftop restaurants in San Diego one of these days.
Nice. I like it.
George's the Cove, been there. I'm assuming you've been there.
Oh yeah. Now, one thing to note about George's, it's 4 stories. At the top story is where everyone wants to go, right? Like, you think you up there, but it's actually level 3 that is the best experience. As
why do you like level 3 better?
Floor to ceiling glass, all surrounding level 3, so the view is incredible. You don't have to deal with as many tourists that are all going to the top level.
That's true.
Food is better. It's like this craft cocktail bar. The drinks are better. It's usually not as crowded. Huge advantage. Level 3.
Wait, so why is it a different menu on the 3rd floor versus the 4th floor?
Yeah, it's like a cocktail lounge.
Oh,
I think they
okay.
have some food as well, but it's like this sleek cocktail lounge, and the top just feels like a tourist trap.
Okay, so I'm the sucker that goes to the top floor. Okay. Got it. Okay, Mr. A's. I've been there before it got reopened and remodeled. Have you been to it since?
You know, I don't believe I have. I remember wanting to go there while
you do have to wear. At least you used to have to wear like a jacket, like a suit jacket to this one. I'm not sure if I'm assuming you still have to do that, but I don't know that for a fact.
One of the rare places in San Diego. Though.
Rooftop bar at Mission Pacific Hotel. It says San Diego, but this is actually in Oceanside.
I have not. No.
I've been to this one. This one's got a really cool rooftop. We went there just for a drink. We didn't actually eat there, so I couldn't be. Yeah. So if you guys have been to any of these, which one is your favorite rooftop bar or restaurant in San Diego? As I'd love to check them all out. Oh, and Topsail Portside Pier. You've been to that one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Where the Brigantine is. Yeah, I like that spot too. That's cool.
It's not the best Brigantine food, but the whole experience there is really cool.
For sure. For sure. Okay,
now, all right, real quick, Burn. Maybe you
yes.
have it on here already, but this is like so going with the theme of what you just went over. Have you seen the remodel of the Lafayette in North Park?
Oh, I forgot that was the one thing I wanted to talk about on there, and I have not done it. You haven't been in it yet, have you?
I have not, but we used to go before the remodel, and it's just a really fun vibe. If you live in San Diego, especially like around Balboa Park, and you just want a pool to get access to, you can go get a day pass for their pool. And the vibe in there is just really fun. The drinks are good.
Look at that place. Look at that.
Yeah. So this just reopened.
I'm going to have to check that one out. It's located in North Park, or right in North Park, right?
Yeah. And
or
it's
right by
owned by Consortium Holdings. So they have Ironside. Oh my gosh, I'm like blanking on all the restaurant names.
The different restaurants. They have a bunch
of really nice restaurants here in San Diego, and they're always like floor to ceiling. It's insane the amount of investment that they put in to just the ambiance.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I have to check that one out. Maybe when I do a North Park tour, we'll stop at that hotel. Yeah. So. Okay, so we talked about that to the rooftop. I thought this was, we're going to get right into the real estate aspects of it now. So housing market prediction for 2023. When will home prices be affordable again? Yep. I almost say like never, but at least
by the end of the year, guaranteed.
Oh, definitely. Housing crash. You heard it here first. Dan Parker predicts a housing crash by end of 2023. This is what some experts are saying. And this is like as the country as a whole, not specifically San Diego, which San Diego seems to withstand most things as of late, it seems, or at least they rebound very quickly. Considering there are still 91% of homeowners with mortgage rates below 6% and roughly 82% of homeowners sitting on rates below 5%, according to Redfin, a sustained uptick in mortgage applications isn't likely to materialize in the immediate future. So this has kind of been the same, spiel we've been saying for the last couple months. Not enough sellers because of the interest rates. No one wants to give up their interest rates. There's still buyers out there, but if there was actually inventory in the market, say we had, 3 months of inventory right now, I think we'd actually see a relatively balanced market because of a lot of people aren't selling and there aren't as many buyers as there normally would be. Yep. But we're stuck in this endless loop here. Oh, this is funny. So see this show on this right-hand side, Justified? Oops, yeah. Just one way. That was one of the first TV shows I ever worked on, was the original Justified.
Oh, all right.
Back in 2010, I think it was. So
now
before I got into, actually no, it was probably like 2008 before I got into real estate, which was 2011. So
they don't even know they're advertising on your channel.
They didn't even know. It still follows me around and haunts me to this day. Yep. Yep. Okay. If current economic conditions persist with elevated mortgage rates and home prices amid scarce inventory, the market is likely in for a long, slow climb and a few bumps along the way. I actually think this is probably going to be more accurate. I think we're going to have some time, like the springtime, we had this little burst, and then I'm kind of expecting like end of summer, early fall to be like a little bit of a drop, and then maybe we get a little uptick again, and then a little drop. So I think it's going to go up and down for the next 12 months. I don't know. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get way into this. I'm sure questions will come in about the market here because people are always very, very curious.
Yeah.
Um, I
I'm
think,
actually talking San Diego specifically. I'm not even talking nationally, even though this is a national one. I just
well,
think it's going to go up and down a little bit for the next 12 months.
yeah, it's very important to stay local when you're talking about the real estate market, but it is obviously also important to know about the macro trends. And one of the things that I think is interesting is we've been hearing over the last, year and a half, recession, 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 recession coming. No, we're in recession. No, it's coming. Like we've been hearing that back and forth. And what I've been seeing a lot lately is economists revising their predictions for a recession, and it just keeps the percentage chance of it happening keeps going down and down and down. So I think that is kind of really interesting because if we're talking about what would be the catalyst for a housing market crash or just prices to come down at any significant level, you would need some type of big catalyst, and we don't see that coming necessarily with a recession based on the recovery that's happening. Even though it's slowly happening, we are seeing a recovery happening.
So have you heard most people are saying that recession's becoming less likely at this point? Is that what you've heard?
Yeah, I've been, I don't know why the lighting here has been all messed up this whole time. And I think I just found it. It's right. It's just this one.
There's one little light just shining through.
What happens when I rush in, guys? Here we go.
He's got to put all his lights on. Look at that setup. It's beautiful.
There we go. Now it's just perfect. Okay. So yes, I was, in fact, we had a team meeting today and we were going over markets, statistics and what's happening, what we're seeing. And yeah, the economists are saying more and more that the likelihood of a recession at this point is in the near future is maybe around like 20%, as opposed to, they were saying before 60 to 70%. So
that's a dramatic difference in a short amount of time too, for the most part. So, I mean, the stock market's been rebounding. My stock portfolio has gone skyrocketed in the last like 3 months, which has been great. So, especially our real stock. I'm not sure if you noticed that.
EXP got a nice bump the other day too. I know you got.
Did they? Okay, good. That's nice. Everyone's doing well for the
stock advice. Everybody, we have
definitely not. We're definitely not stock advisors. Do not listen to us for any stock advice, especially Dan. Okay, so that's, a lot. Low housing inventory has been a challenge since the 2008 housing crash, when construction of new homes plummeted. It still hasn't recovered, and it won't in 2023. So,
are you looking at an artiple?
Say again. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me put it back on that. I took it down.
Let's see it.
Hold on. I just took it away. To present. Share screen. I think I'd be better at this by now. Okay, so this one says low housing inventory has been a challenge since 2008. Housing crash when the construction of new homes plummeted. Still hasn't fully recovered, and it won't in 2023. So home builders are pretty much still in shock from the 2008 when they overbuilt for homes for a long period of time. And now they're like so cautious that I feel like they don't even come close to the amount of homes that needed to ever get into what they got into in 2008.
Yeah.
So I just feel like they build just enough so they sell quickly, but not one house more than that. So everyone expecting for new housing to come out and save us as far as low inventory, it's just not happening.
Yeah. And just the options for single family homes, like where to put new construction single family homes in San Diego, is limited on top of that. So there are a lot of factors here where I unfortunately just don't see much around prices continuing to rise over the long run now. But like you said, like maybe I feel like we're starting to feel it a little bit. We're starting to feel a little bit of a slowing in the market right now, especially in specific price points. We're still seeing some multiple offer scenarios. We're still seeing a lot of homes going over asking price, but we're not seeing as much the 100,000 over asking price. We're maybe seeing the 3 offers, 2 of them are under, 1 of them is over. Like I'm seeing very, very common right now. But
yeah, I've actually had luck with getting offers under asking recently, which has been great. And I actually even got someone to do a 2-1 buy down for a house in Carlsbad, which I thought was already well priced as it was. So sometimes you just hit on the right house at the right time. And I always find the ones that like maybe got through 2 weekends or was in escrow and fell out. Those ones are always like, I think the sellers sometimes panic and they will just take whatever they can get at that point, which is also why it's so important to take the best offer. Not always maybe the highest offer when you get in escrow. I mean, you never know. Someone could back out at any time for any reason, but you just don't always look for the highest price. Just look for the one that wants it the most and is like almost guaranteed to close on it. So, which is, always hard to know ahead of time sometimes. So.
It's also a good point for buyers to just to note that the highest offer doesn't always win. In fact, a lot of times it doesn't. I can't even tell you how many times I've been on the selling side or listing side where we did not select the highest offer.
Sure.
So there's a lot
And
to
a lot of times, like they'll have like, say they have 3 or 4 offers, but they like the agent on the other side of it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you're just much more communicative. You just seem like you get it done. You can also show like if someone comes up with mine and yours track record of closing buyers in this market, they're just more willing to trust you to get it done rather than someone else that they don't know, that's not responsive, that sends in a terrible offer, just like clerically wise, not even just like price wise. So just be careful who you hire to be your realtor out there. Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to be us. Just like make sure you vet them a little bit and make sure it's not just your brother's mother's friend or something like that. So
I would
brother's mother's friend. I'm not even sure what that means.
How often when you have a listing, what percentage of offers do you receive that you're like, wow, they missed this box, they didn't do this right?
Yeah, I mean, you can almost tell like how good the agent is by how the offer is presented, or even just how they send the email.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get an email and just like they didn't send they don't send proof of funds, they don't send pre-approval letter, and then they just send you an email and said see attached offer, and then like red flag, red flag, red flag. So it's, I would say if you say you got, hypothetically you got 10 offers on the table, you probably get like 3 good ones, 2 decent ones, and then 5 of them are just like you can't even read what they're trying to write in their emails. So
yeah,
it's funny because just don't, and also don't get too afraid when an offer has like 5 or 7 offers on it. Half of them are probably gonna get thrown out immediately. So
yeah, very good point. It's around 50%, at least like 30 to 50% where it's like easy to weed out.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is happening a lot too, but I've had other agents say, is this the only offer your clients are writing at this time on a house? It must be happening a lot if they keep asking that, because some people are just putting out offers left and right on houses just so they could get one locked up. And I think that helped us get this one house that we just got down in San Carlos too. So
cool.
Okay, and then this just goes on to say a lot of people still want new construction. Like the sales of new construction are actually pretty high right now, and compared to resold homes, but there's just not enough new construction to go around, especially in the areas that people want. If this was 10 years ago in San Diego, you would have new communities all over, like like where I kind of do a lot of the work in the 56 quarter, like Forest Ranch, Del Sur, Torrey Highlands, Pacific Highlands. Those had new communities left and right up this area. But now all the land is pretty much gone. So there's one, the Junipers, which is going to be a 55 plus community coming over here. And the trails at Carmel Mountain Ranch is actually going to be like 800 homes. I think mostly townhomes. But besides that, and then the farm in Poway. There's not much else for new construction that are like somewhat reasonably priced. So not even like townhomes or condos. They should make more condos and townhomes over here because that's the only entry point that first-time home buyers can afford in this market.
Yeah.
Do you have like you're up in Carlsbad right now. Do you see many like townhomes or condos being built up there that are for sale?
Yeah, I would say Carlsbad does have both of those options. I would say we're seeing for new construction, we're seeing a lot of more condos or single family. So not as many townhomes. I don't know why. But we do see it up here more than by you for sure.
Okay, well, good. I wish I could bring some of those down this way. Okay, what else we got here? So this is the Junipers I talked about. This is the 55 plus community coming up in Rancho Penasquitos. This is actually up on Lennar's website now. Still no pricing, but it should be going for sale relatively soon if they have it on their website. This is the trails at Carmel Mountain Ranch. One of the projects over here it says 1,200 units, which would be a welcome site over in this area. Because this is pretty good. This is on an old golf course in Carmel Mountain Ranch, like Sabre Springs-ish area. And I think it doesn't specifically say, but I think it's mostly townhomes or condos. But that is not up on Lennar's website yet. But that is going to be a Lennar build.
Wait, can I ask you real quick? Go back to that last one.
This one?
Yeah. So this first time I've seen this. I'm always looking at with the headlines and everything that we're putting up. I'm always looking for the wording that they're using, and I'm interested in design for 1,200 attainably priced homes. So it's
That's not even like so not affordable, but attainably. Actually, I've never even heard of the word attainably priced before.
It's not luxury. It's not affordable. It's attainable, Burn. This is what we need in San Diego. Attainable.
Attainable. What does attainable, like it can be attained?
We will see. Thank
I
you,
don't
Lamar.
even know what that means exactly. That's a funny word. Good catch on that one, Dan.
Yeah.
Okay, mortgage rates. This is where mortgage rates are currently. Super exciting. Jumbos. Actually, I think you can get jumbos around 6% right now, from what I've heard. This one's always a little bit higher on the mortgage rates, but 30-year fixed conforming 6.9. So still in the sixes, but it's been trending kind of flat, maybe a little bit down lately. What have you seen on that front, Daniel?
Yeah, I was just at, I spent the day at my lender's office, my primary lender's office, and they said over the last week, we've finally seen some relief. So
yeah, I felt like it just kept
prior
going up.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of it's hard to explain exactly what's going on in the financial market because a lot of these investors and a lot of these companies, and they're not just basing everything off of the 10-year treasury, which is
Sure.
what a lot of what they're doing, but they're also looking at the fact that, look, rates are going to start coming down at some point in the next year. And so when we write new loans right now, when we write them today, we know we're only going to have that loan for a 6-month or 12-month or 18-month period. Whereas, the sweet spot is more like a 3 to 5 year period. And so it's kind of artificially raised right now because they know that there's going to be this turn soon. So they kind of have to have a little bit more buffer.
So people are buying it now at 6.5% or 7%, knowing that they're only going to have it for maybe a year because they're going to refinance in a year. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, but from like the back end, like the lender's side, and from
right.
That they're looking at this as an investment, saying, look, yeah, this loan, the amount of time we're going to have these loans on average is going to be way condensed, which is way less money for us. So because that's less money and more risk, then they have to artificially inflate the rates a little bit.
Gotcha.
Artificially isn't the right word, but that was an explanation I had from a detailed economist that I thought was really, really quite fascinating.
When do you think we'll see rates back in like the 5% range?
If there's one thing I've learned over the last 3 years when it comes to mortgage rates, don't try and guess what's going to happen.
I know, but I get that question pretty much on the weekly here in San Diego. So
I really think it's quite evident that like a 5% mortgage interest rate is a sweet spot, and that it would bring out so many buyers.
And it would bring out sellers too, I think, a little bit more too.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm not necessarily saying it's a good or a bad thing because it's going to drive more competition. It's also going to bring more homes back on the market. 5 is kind of where I think we probably want to be. And I would be very surprised if we were there in the next 12 months. But I think we will certainly be on our way to 5% in the next 12 months. So maybe,
and then if say we do get to 5%, does that just bring out even more buyers?
Yes.
And the question is like, is that enough to bring out the sellers? I guess would be the question. So
yep.
I think it's getting closer to be more something people could live with versus like the 6 to 7% was just such a gigantic change from when people have 3% rates. But if you get down to like the 5, high 4s, low 5s range, then that could become, but then do prices just go up another $100,000, $200,000 here? So I don't know. I wish if we were be much richer than we are if we knew the answer to these questions. So
yeah. Well, and so think of this. If we're looking at an affordability standpoint, if you're going to buy a house with 20% down and you have a 3% mortgage, which is where we were like 2 years ago, we had 3% mortgage versus a 7% mortgage, it's actually a 50% increase in what your monthly mortgage payment is going to be. So if your monthly, same exact house, 3% mortgage, let's say it'd be a $5,000 mortgage. And if those rates went up to 7 and you refinance, then that's actually going to be $7,500 you're paying every single month. So going from 7 and then we'll go down to 5, and then that's the halfway point. So we're looking at a very substantial savings and significant bump in affordability for people for purchasing these homes. So there's absolutely no way that doesn't bring more buyers into the market.
That's true. And you were actually, you're a good person to talk about this because you bought a house somewhat recently in San Diego. If you don't mind me asking, what was your interest rate?
Yeah. So we bought about 4 months ago in Carlsbad, and our rate was 6%, I believe, when we bought it, and we have a temporary 1.0 buy down, which means for the first year we convinced the seller to put money towards buying down our rate by 1% for the first year. So for the first year, we're at 5%.
And then you're probably hoping to refinance within the next 2 years, probably, hopefully.
Yep. I mean, when we bought it, we were hoping to refinance in a year, but I think it's become much more evident in that period of time that it's just going to take a little bit longer for rates to come down than all of us were expecting and hoping.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, to get into that 5 range, it could be 2025 maybe. So I think they're going to do a very slow, gradual decrease, be flat for a little bit or a little while even, and then maybe just drop it a little bit each time and just see how the market responds, because they don't want to go from 7 to 5 overnight. Otherwise, that would just be anarchy.
Especially from how much pain we've had to endure for the Fed to raise the Fed funds rate up to where it's at. They're not about to backtrack that anytime soon, unless they really had to just really stimulate the economy.
For sure. Okay, let's get into a couple questions here, and then I have a couple more articles to go through. Chad, watching from La Jolla, what's your prediction for the next 5 years with housing prices? Ooh, I guess we kind of just talked about this.
5 years.
5 years is like might as well be 100 years, because it's.
Let me get my crystal ball. Where's my crystal ball?
My guess is we're not going to have much of a from July, or was it June of last year to this year. Actually, I have a little article about this too. We can jump. Actually, let me get into this article and then we can talk about it. So this article, let me see if I can get this up. Present, share. Okay, so this article is about 20 places in California where home prices have plummeted the most. Where do you think San Diego is on this list?
It's on the list?
Have you seen this list, I guess?
I can't imagine San Diego's on this list because prices have not.
But it's 20 places in California. So
in California. Okay.
But you're actually correct. It's not on the list.
I would imagine this is mostly going to be LA, because that's where
LA and North San Diego, or North San Diego, California. So a lot of these areas, actually, there's nothing even in Southern California on this list. So Livermore, Santa Cruz, Fremont, this is almost all Northern California. Mountain View, Willits, I don't even know what San Islamo is. Albany, Berkeley, San Mateo, Oakland, Alameda, Pleasanton, Palo Alto, San Francisco, Truckee, Dublin. So all the Northern California looks like it's just dying. 13%, 13% down, 13%. And we, honestly, in San Diego, for a hot minute, we were down, from probably anywhere from 5% to 15%, depending on neighborhoods here, up until like January of this year. And then prices started to come back up. So for whatever reason, Southern California is rebounding much quicker than Northern California is doing. So as far as where do I expect prices to be in 5 years, I can't even tell you where they're going to be in 1 year. I just don't see them dipping anytime soon until inventory catches up to a normal amount of inventory. Right now, we are at we're actually at the end of June, we were at 2 months supply of inventory in San Diego, which last time we had 2 months supply of inventory was in 2020. So this is the first time it's actually hit that number. But I also think it's going to go back down. I'm waiting to see what July numbers are, just because inventory, like new houses aren't really coming on the market as much. And then those other houses have already gone in escrow. So I'm curious to see if we stay above 2 months supply or it goes back down below. So until we get to like 6, 7, 8,000 homes on the market in San Diego County, we're not going to be in a balanced market. So, and how do we get to that number? I don't see it happening anytime soon. Do you, Dan?
No, and you're right. I mean, there's just, it's a really difficult time to say what we think is going to happen in 5 years, let alone, or even just 1 year is like hard enough to try and figure out. But my prediction would be that if the prediction on the interest rates is true and we start to see rates slowly come down over the next 2 years, then I think it's very reasonable to believe that home values are going to continue to go up over the next 2 years. And like you said, maybe it's not going to look like a straight line, but it never does. But maybe it'll kind of be like this, and like
I think we could go like a little bit. Maybe we'll have a little dip here, then it goes back
Yeah.
up. Little dip here, it goes back up. It's going to be like a very gradual increase. I don't think it's going to be like from 2020 to 2022 we had like a straight up like rocket ship going up. Now we should probably be more, like you said, more steady projection. Maybe like 3 to 6% increases in prices. It also depends where rates go. So if rates stay at 7%, it might be even lower than maybe it's 1 to 2%. But if the rates go back down into like the 4s and 5s, then maybe it goes up a little quicker. So
if rates
it's really hard to say what 5 years will be. I do probably will say the prices 5 years from now will be higher than they are today.
Yeah, they certainly will, because the biggest the biggest housing market collapse in modern history only took 5 years for prices to get back to where they were at.
Yeah,
so
only 5 years is not a long period of time. So, and that was one of the worst collapses of all time. So, and this one, if we do end up having a recession, it's not really caused by housing, supposedly. So, and I think it was only 2 out of the last 5 recessions did prices actually go down. So, and that was one of them was the 2008 recession, obviously. So, okay. So, what other questions we have here? Let me stop screen. Oh, nice. I'm heading to ComicCon too. Very cool. When are you going, Henry? If you're still on the channel, this was a few minutes ago. So let me know if you're still there.
DM.
That's right. Listening from blazing hot Phoenix. Ooh, it's been pretty hot here recently too. Today I was walking around outside. I was sweating. It was like 88 degrees here, but like with no shade, it was very hot. So we really like to see neighborhood tours, visuals showing what areas look like. Okay, cool. And if there's any particular neighborhoods you'd like to see, let us know. And either me or Dan, I'm sure we'll make it eventually here. So let's see. Island Prime or Sea Level? Is that a restaurant? Island Prime or Sea Level?
Yeah, restaurants.
Oh, I haven't been to those one. I'll put those on the list. Thanks. Let's see. Chad Franzen, good question. Price points. 2 million might not go up. 750K house might not go up. No clue. Price points. 2 million might not go up. Oh, he's saying, okay, if they're gonna, where will prices be 5 years from now? I think. And what price points are you seeing right now, Dan, that are not selling as quickly that you've noticed?
I mean the
higher the price points, I find not quite as booming.
Yeah, over the last month or so, I've definitely seen a cooling in the like 1.2 plus range.
Yeah,
especially like 1.2 to 2 million. But even historically, the more luxury, the more expensive the homes are, the more custom they are, the longer it's going to take to sell homes. Like that's what
even in the hot market, the 4 million ones don't always sell as fast as a $1 million house will sell usually. So, good answer. Okay, Dopish, 100K over asking.
We were there a little over a year ago.
I mean that was on the norm. That was maybe on the low end. Sometimes it was 200K over asking. So
it was not fun.
Favorite resource to learn about events happening in Carlsbad. Let's see. This is my client Chia, who's moving to Carlsbad. He should be here in August. So Chia, good to see you out there. I guess. I mean, we talk about it on the channel here. Dan talks a lot about it on his channel. What's that? There's a San Diego website that kind of lists all the events. Is it About San Diego or sandiego.org or something like that? Has a lot of events there too. So
I think I want to say Visit Carlsbad on Instagram.
Oh yeah, that one has a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of Instagram channels you can follow that always have events for weekly. I think I might actually add that to our Instagram. Like do it once a week and just post like this is what's happening this weekend in North County, San Diego. So
yeah, we just started doing that, but we do it for all of San Diego County, so it's not specific to Carlsbad.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's see. I'll be there all forward it. Wow, good for you, Henry. That's at ComicCon, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, Poway Farms or older home in 92127 areas, 4S Ranch, Del Sur, single family home. Like, which one would we choose? I would choose 4S Ranch or Del Sur. But that's me personally. Once you go past the 15 in San Diego, it gets even hotter. So I'm more partial to that than I don't get as infatuated with brand new homes as some other people might, but I always just go location, and I like the Del Sur Forest Ranch area a lot. Just nicely maintained. The grounds are beautiful. The trees are beautiful. They also have a lot of amenities, especially in Del Sur, like pools and parks and all that good stuff too. So, me personally, I would choose Forest Ranch over Del Sur, but that's just me.
Yeah. Plus, Poway Farms is Lennar, right?
It is Lennar. This is correct. And they actually don't have Melrose, but I think the HOA is like $600 there, something like that. Yeah. So that, I mean, honestly, it doesn't make any, then that never goes away. At least your Melrose will go away eventually.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know a ton about Poway Farms, but from when I remember doing research, I feel like it seems like a very nice community.
It is. We did a video on it when it was only like half built and it was like raining, so it was not the best video. But it looks very nice. The area, like, it's kind of surrounded by older homes. Like, if you're in Del Sur and Forest Ranch, you're kind of surrounded by the same age homes. So sometimes it feels a little weird to me when it's like you have a beautiful brand new neighborhood surrounded by older homes. So, it's kind of a personal preference thing too. So
sure. Yeah.
Okay, I had a couple more articles, and then what time is it now? Oops, this is a little longer than I thought. Okay, we'll do this quickly. Oh, this was interesting too. So Wallet Hub, I just found this one article today.
Show us the screen there, Bernard.
Yes, I'm going to present it. Thank you, Dan. That's why I have you on the show, so you can let me know. To share my screen. If you guys have any other questions too, please put them in the chat. Okay, 2023's best and worst cities for first-time home buyers. So we get this question a lot because I'm sure you and I both help a lot of first-time home buyers here move to our fair city here.
Wait, can we make some guesses? Oh, I guess you already know what they are.
I know what the answer is, but you can guess. So this is out of 300 cities throughout the country of differing sizes. They did categorize it by large cities too, which San Diego is considered a large city. But out of 300, where would you guess San Diego would fall? There's actually 4 cities in the top 300. So I'll tell you the names, but not what number they are. San Diego, Chula Vista, Oceanside, and Carlsbad.
Yeah, I would say San Diego and Carlsbad are in the top 10 worst.
Okay.
And I was interested. Oh, wait, go back up. I want to see what the best ones are first.
Okay, best ones are a lot of Florida. Almost all, top 5 are all Florida.
Yeah.
And then Arizona, Idaho, which I heard Idaho is actually, especially Boise, is actually going on a little bit of a downturn as far as I think people are exiting there a little bit. Everyone moved there during the pandemic. Now everyone's leaving or something. I don't know what's happening.
Well, there's an insane amount of new construction out there. And so you drive and it's all these homes that were built in the last 2 years. It's crazy.
So that one's probably one that's actually got kind of overbuilt a little bit.
It is.
Did you say? Okay, interesting. Okay, so you can see where all these top 20 are coming from: Nevada, Florida, Arizona, Colorado, Arizona. A lot of the same names over here.
Bernie, you want to get rid of that comment so we can see the whole list?
Oh yes, sorry. Where is that comment? There you go.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There it is. Okay.
Yep.
So Green Bay, Las Vegas, number 19. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the best places to live for first-time home buyers. So nowhere will you see San Diego or any cities in Southern California on this list. So now we'll go toward the bottom. Let's see if I can get this up.
Well, look, we always talk about, these lists talk about how unaffordable it is, but let's be honest. We all know the reason. It's a wonderful place to live. There's a ton of demand. A lot of people, you can live anywhere in the country. Like San Diego, for a lot of people, is going to be one of the top places because we have some of the best weather. It doesn't get super humid here. It doesn't get crazy hot. Like Bern was sweating outside at 88 degrees.
I know, and it wasn't that hot. I was just
it doesn't get much past that.
Compared to what it was.
We have the ocean, we have the mountains, we have so much accessibility, we have so much public land. So of course, it's expensive.
Okay, so the methodology here is they do it by 3 different categories: affordability, number 1, real estate market, number 2, and then quality of life. And you can imagine 3 for quality of life. San Diego probably ranked fairly high on that one.
Yeah.
So, and they try to weight them all differently. It was actually a pretty detailed way they weighted everything: housing affordability, average cost of homeowners insurance, cost of living, cost per square foot, all this different stuff. So they actually did a little, like all these categories. They have your rent to price ratio, median days on market. So a lot of detail in here. And then quality of life, weather, quality of school system, driver friendliness. I'm not sure how they ranked that one, but so a lot of different stuff here. So let's go, without further ado, we'll look at San Diego. So it might be slightly surprising to you. So we're not in the bottom 10. As you can see, the bottom 10, Berkeley, Santa Monica, Anchorage, Alaska, which I just found out recently. That's like one of the most dangerous places to live in the world is Anchorage, Alaska. I did not know.
I can't see what you're looking at.
Oh, is it not showing up? It's not showing up.
The last one.
Why is this one not showing up? Hang on. Let me do it again.
Gotta love technology.
Yes. Okay. Can you see that now?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. So here's the bottom 20. Berkeley, Santa Monica, Anchorage, Santa Barbara, LA, San Francisco, Oakland. So nowhere to be seen. San Diego, no, nothing in San Diego.
Still, quality of life.
It's definitely the quality. Let's see what I didn't actually see what the quality of life ranking was. So Carlsbad, 267. 150 quality of life. I'm a little surprised that's not higher.
Well, if you noticed in there, they also had cost of electricity and some other things,
which is higher, obviously, here too. So, and then their score is 40.89. And then you go up to Escondido. Oh, Escondido was on the list. I was mistaken on the towns here. So 157 for quality of life, 216, 261. And then San Diego, there we go. 154 quality of life. I'm surprised it's ranked that high when they didn't. I thought that would have been like top 100, maybe quality of life. But
yeah, that is very weird.
And then Chula Vista there's Oceanside, number 243. And then we have Chula on here somewhere, I think. And was it all the way up here or did I miss it? Oh, there it is, 190. Quality of life for Chula Vista, 139. So
that's
so we are not the most expensive or for first-time home buyers. So, but we still have a good 40 or 50 cities below us. So we're not the worst.
Not the worst.
Okay, just two more things, and then I will let you go, Daniel. If you guys have any other questions in here, let me know. Oh, we got a couple questions here. Oh, I have to do this one. That's fine. Here we go. Is buying a model home generally bad decisions? I don't think it's a bad decision. I think if you find the home in the right neighborhood, it's totally, usually the model home is probably the most upgraded home in the entire neighborhood. So you'll probably have one of the nicest homes in that community. What's your thoughts on model homes, Dan? Any thoughts?
No, that's it. I mean, if you're buying a resale home and they put in the MLS notes that it was the model home, a lot of times that's a benefit because
I would say people get excited about that when they get to buy a model home, even when it's a resale. So I don't think that's a bad thing, actually. So
usually a premium location, usually fewer homes around, like it usually has more benefits.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. So I do not think that's bad. Are you trying to buy one of the farms? Because see the one that said that earlier?
Yeah, exactly. Farms.
But I like the farms. I think it's a beautiful neighborhood, and they're supposed to build like a couple like little restaurants at the beginning of it too. I always like walkable things that I can walk to, so that's always a big plus for me. So, is it possible? It's impossible to buy a house in San Diego right now. Not impossible, but close.
It was more a comment than a question, but we'll take it.
It's more of a comment than a question, but I appreciate it. Okay, and then two more things. Then I got to go because I have to pick up my kids from soccer practice.
And by the way, it is tough, and our hearts go out to you. I mean, it's not easy or fun for us to just see prices go up and up and up like this because we like helping people find homes here in San Diego. But
we also don't want prices to go down because a lot of our clients have bought over the last couple of years too. Exactly. So you don't want to see that happen either. So I'm just like, there's no winning on that one.
Yeah.
So okay, window. I just wanted to show this thing. So if any of you guys are familiar with Merge 56, that's over in 56 quarter off Camino del Sur. You might not even be able to see this very well, but there's plans for new construction to go on around this area. So there's a guy named Keith Rhodes owns all this land over here. And let's see if can I zoom in this. Does it zoom in for you when you see it?
Much better.
Okay, there you go. So he owns all these different lots around here. So lot 4, lot 7, lot 6. They're all zoned for single family homes. and he's trying to get it changed to multi-family or condominiums or townhomes, that sort of thing, so he can build more homes and sell it off to people. Yeah. So they were all zoned for single family. Now he's changing it to that. One of them was supposed to be zoned for a park. He's also trying to change that to multifamily. So this is going to go on the to the Rancho Penasquitos Planning Board, if any of you guys are in the Rancho Penasquitos area. So come to the meeting in September and try to vote for. I'm all for development, just what it was supposed to be zoned for. It's supposed to be zoned for single family homes. He's trying to change like 200 homes into like 1,000 condominiums. So I'm not an expert on how much an area can hold, but it just seems like we're already crowded over here enough as it is. To bring 1,000 versus 200 or whatever the number is seems a little crazy. So just keep an eye out for that. Last thing I wanted to mention is this Saturday is the Off the 56 grand opening office at Merge 56. So if any of you guys are in the area, please stop by from 9 to 11 on Saturday. We're going to have free coffee and donuts. I know it's shocking. We're going to have donuts at our grand opening, but we will have that. So if any of you guys are in the area, please stop by, say hello. We're going to have some raffle prizes. Maybe Dan Parker will be in attendance. Probably not. I was just thinking, Dan, we should do a Off the 56 and Best Life event together sometime in the next year. We can bring all our different audiences together and build community together. So
let's make it happen.
I think we should plan that for this year. I was just thinking that today. It's like, this would be a good idea. So
yeah.
Okay. Any last remaining questions? 2 more, and then we got to roll. Do you see more people going for an ARM mortgage or 30-year fixed nowadays? I do see more people doing the ARM mortgages. Dan, what are you seeing?
Yeah,
we saw the 2-1 buy down thing, which is the other thing.
We saw a lot of ARMs when rates first started shooting up. But what ended up happening is a lot of the lenders, they really made a very small difference in mortgage rate for when you have the ARM versus the fixed rate. So I have fewer and fewer clients going with the ARM because it's like a very small amount more. But if you do go for it, a 7 or 10-year ARM is pretty dang safe in this market.
That is correct. So yeah, because what was the difference? Like it was like a 1/10 of a point difference. I don't. Usually there are bigger differences between the arms and that sort of thing. Sometimes it's like a 1/2 point or 3/4 point to do like a 5-year arm. But now, like you said, been much smaller differences on that. Yep. So. And then last question, location of new office. I just put it in the chat there. Office 8390 Merge Avenue. It's a brand new building. So
office. I've been there. Checked it out.
Dan has been there to visit. So hopefully you guys can stop by and say hello and meet the team and have some free coffee and donuts. Okay, great. Well, thank you guys all for joining us. Dan, thank you again for joining us on the show here. Look out for if you guys do not follow Dan Parker, which you probably already do if you follow my channel, make sure you follow Dan's Best Life Home Team on YouTube and look out for a future event when we do a 56 Best Life event here in San Diego.
It's gonna be great.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch us next time. Bye.